guys, ESPN in Arkansas, they do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, get with us on this Tuesday. Phil Elson, Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T. Good to be with you here for halftime. Funny how things work sometimes. Had this thing going, and maybe you're dealing with it too because nothing seems normal these days. Your energy level... the way you're sleeping, what you're doing during the day, but it's kind of odd. Smackdown and Matty T can vouch for this. That probably for the 5 minutes leading up to the start of this show, I can't do anything but yawn. I mean, he's looking at me through FaceTime right now. Smackdown, you want to give a guess how many times I've yawned in the last 4 minutes?
Oh, 5 times.
5 times, so I'm averaging more than one per minute,
right?
Yeah,
I think if we went about every 90 seconds, you're getting a good yawn in, and every once in a while you get the double yawn.
And then all of a sudden, as the show starts, boom, the energy kicks in, the happiness just starts to shine through.
That's what we do.
And I feel like myself. It's obviously just the start of the conversation of these next 2 hours with you two lovely gentlemen and our lovely listeners here on Halftime.
You've still got the coffee going at your house, don't you?
Absolutely.
We'll see here at the station. The supplies are they're dangerously low now as far as like hand soap and Lysol and coffee is one of the
only
things.
thing that matters amongst all those things you just mentioned is coffee.
Yep.
See, the one thing, and I've tried to learn, and I would love to learn how, just because I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning for the morning rush. Like I like a white chocolate mocha from Starbucks. But like. I've tried.
You and my lovely lady could go to Starbucks together, man, and split one together once you're actually allowed to share germs with people.
I say that because I'm new to this whole coffee thing, and I got that in Chicago when we were there for a WWE pay-per-view, and I never really had coffee before. And someone said, well, "Do you like chocolate?" And I said, "I like white chocolate." He said, "Okay, you'll like
try some coffee with your chocolate."
Yeah. So it's more candy than chocolate. Coffee, my friend.
And maybe this the listener, like I don't know what to do. Like, I have the stuff at my apartment. I have a Keurig, and I bought this white chocolate creamer thinking I could make it at home, and it tastes like crap.
Yeah, no.
So I want to know, like, what is something very, like a rookie? Like, what's a good rookie starter?
You are obviously, you are less than a rookie.
Yes.
You haven't been drafted yet. You're still working your way up through college into the minors. Yeah. Get yourself some chocolate syrup.
Maybe a scoop of ice cream.
A scoop of ice cream will work. That's right.
I'll do. Hey, if that'll, I would do ice cream at 4:30 in the morning.
Look, here's the thing. I mean, because you're doing 2 radio shows per day, once halftime begins, I would just say drink whatever it is you can get your hands on.
That's why
it makes you feel good. That's why, during the baseball broadcasts, once, when we used to play this thing called baseball at Baum Walker Stadium, Bubba Carpenter would bring a Mountain Dew and 2 Red Bulls into the booth to get him through a potential 4.5 hour broadcast. So if you want to follow his, lead, you're probably also going to have to stand up for the entire show and hold the bat threateningly at the same time. You do all these things together, and I think we're going to be just fine.
Sounds good to me.
But I'm feeling good. I feel really good. And like 6 minutes ago, I felt like total crap. It's that feeling that you get when you thought, I probably had a little too much coffee today. Half a cup more than you should have, and all of a sudden you're shaking. You're shaking, and you just don't know what you're going to do with yourself. But I feel good now. So
that's good.
We can get to the topic of, optimism, I guess.
This is why you're in a good mood.
No, because I don't.
You seem to be in a good mood.
I can fake it. That's what this radio show is all about. I'm really, for the other 22 hours of the day, I am completely depressed. I don't like to speak. I'm mean to people. These are the 2 hours that are just, I become somebody totally different. But I want to be optimistic. I want to be happy and have the thought that there's going to be baseball played at some point, and that there will be sports played on television for us to pay attention to. And Major League Baseball apparently is trying to lead the way. I have to admit, though, I am extremely skeptical that Major League Baseball is going to be able to put all of the intricate pieces together to have this possible plan that Jeff Passan reported on from ESPN yesterday of starting the Major League season in May with all 30 teams playing around the Phoenix area, which makes sense if you're trying to have a central location for all 30 teams to play. Phoenix has to be in. I mean, I don't know how many teams there are there for the exhibition season, but there's something like 12, 13, 15 or 16 ballparks within about a 55-mile radius, which also counts the big stadium, Chase Field, the home of the Arizona D-backs. And it sounds like, I mean, you could play 3 games a day at Chase Field. You could play 3 games a day at the Scottsdale ballpark, so on and so forth. You'd be able to get the schedule in. But can you imagine the logistics that it would take to get all of the players, all of the umpires, the executives that would be there, members of the media, and everything else that has to go into actually getting a stadium ready just to have players and umpires and those people, never mind the fans, groundskeepers, security. You'll still need to secure these areas and these stadiums and keep everybody healthy, test all the people that are going to participate in this, and that doesn't even bring in the idea that the Players Association has to sign off on this as well and basically leave their homes for an indefinite period of time. They won't be able to see their family members. Those family members would not be joining them. They would not be part of this extra special quarantine, which is what it seems like it would be. I want to be optimistic. I want baseball to be played, but I also want it to be played under the safest possible possibilities. And I can understand that, hey, everything you do is going to be a risk, not just in today's day and age, but just in life in general. It seems like it could be maybe a little bit too risky, too early to try to do this in May. I don't know, but it just seems like, I mean, here we are. It's the 7th of April SmackDown, and I would imagine there are a lot of hoops for Major League Baseball to have to jump through just to get the players to Arizona to have some sort of an extra spring training. I don't know if this can be done.
I'm skeptical too, but I don't know if I'm as skeptical as you are, because the only reason I'll say I think this has some validity to it is the fact of the detail of this ESPN article that came into it. We got some sound from Jeff Passan we'll play here in a second. I agree. There is a lot of hoops to go through. Some of the things, if you and you can find this on ESPN, they talk about implementing an electronic strike zone to allow the plate umpire to maintain that safe social distancing. No mound visits from the catcher or pitching coach. 7-inning doubleheaders, which were earlier than expected, so that would help complete the season. Regular use of on-field microphones by players as an added bonus for TV viewers, which they started that during spring training, and that was a huge hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it seems the fans love that. All those other things are things that Major League Baseball already wants.
Right.
They want to cut down the mound visits from pitching coaches and managers. This would do away with it completely. Major League Baseball already wants the electronic strike zone. They were going to implement that during spring training at some point. This would move the cart and the horse ahead together.
Kind of like how the draft did.
It really would. But the thing that's really interesting is, I mean, how do you continue to operate social distancing even in the sport of baseball, which has less contact than the others, when you have a dugout where players are supposed to sit around and stand? I mean, some of these dugouts are huge, but you still have, 35 people in these dugouts, and it's pretty difficult to remain 6 feet apart. There wouldn't be fans at these games, so you have open stands, and apparently the idea is to have the players sitting in the stands during the games 6 feet apart. You'd imagine, I mean, it's like, go ahead and chase that foul ball, Mike Trout, and make sure you toss it back to the pitcher, because now we're pinching pennies and we're watching out for all the baseballs.
Go back to high school, shagging balls. That's all you got to do. I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I'm all up for them being optimistic and being positive because we've talked about it before. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. We could wake up tomorrow and then they have the cure and then here we go again, or it could continually get worse and worse. You never know, but I'll give them a good thumbs up for at least trying to be positive and try to bring something back.
Yeah, I'm all for optimism here. I'm all for doing everything. You got to have lots of contingency plans. So at the same time, while they're thinking about this, they've also got to be planning for the possibility of not playing baseball at all. If this plan doesn't work, then what's after that? 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts today. We'll continue this conversation. We got sound from Jeff Passan explaining this plan that Major League Baseball wants to implement along with the Players Association. They want baseball to lead the way. I want baseball to lead the way, too. I just want it to be done safely. Halftime continues after this.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Carl, who is the worst sports fan?
2018 Texas A&M game. Late in the fourth quarter, this middle-aged woman, I haven't talked to her, said anything to her, anything like that. She throws the bird in my face. So I said something to her, Weight Watchers and stuff like that. I was about the Bills Mafia table in there in Cowboy Stadium. I was so mad.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to get back out on the road. Time for winters rolled down and radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands, such as Toyo. They also offer oil changes, tire alignments, and much more. Trust Southern Tire Mart for your last-minute getaways, open-road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you're free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo. They'll keep you rolling.
Bush Machine and Tractor at 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith is your one-stop shop for tractors, lawnmowers, and implements. Choose from Massey Ferguson, Branson, and TYM tractors. Implements from Woods, Battle Armor, and Modern Ag. Find a Gravely commercial mower and get the job done mile after mile and season after season. Bush Machine and Tractor is your #1 Branson dealer in Arkansas and works on all brands of tractors and mowers. Come see us or check out all our inventory at bushtractor.com.
In sports, success is measured in the number of points scored, in games won, and in championships earned. At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, and being there when you need us. In fact, 9 out of 10 people surveyed with a claim would recommend Shelter to a friend. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time.
We're proud to say Mosquito Joe of Arkansas has been providing professional mosquito control service for nearly a decade now. In that time, nothing has been more satisfying than hearing from our customers about the difference Mosquito Joe has made in their yard. If you haven't tried Mosquito Joe yet, then don't take it from us. Google Mosquito Joe of Arkansas. Look at our reviews, read what our customers are saying, and then call 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960. Get your first service for $39.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Over to Trozzi. The ball is loose. 1 second to play. Jerry heaves it, and Arkansas wins the game. 75-71, the final score from Bud Walton Arena.
The players in the league need to come to an agreement on exactly how the finances are going to work and exactly how they're going to ensure the health. And if they get to the point where they are ready to go inside the biosphere, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a 2-week period, and this could be a 2-week period that is used as the new spring training, where players, coaches, managers, everybody inside of there are getting tested. And look, those tests need to be available in an abundant quality to ensure that baseball players aren't getting the same criticism that NBA players got, like, hey, why are these people getting tested when those who are actually sick can't? So you need a lot of tests, and there's the expectation that that's going to happen. If someone gets sick at that point, what doctors and public health officials have told Major League Baseball and the players is that you do not necessarily have to shut down. If we have the testing, if we can contain this, if the entire room has not been infected, well, we're going to have much bigger rosters, and that is a big part of this whole plan, because when you take into account the possibility of even a small outbreak inside of a clubhouse, as well as playing in the heat, which in Phoenix is going to be 100, 110 degrees during the summer, you're going to need a big roster, and that's something that I think Major League Baseball is willing to get on board with, and certainly the players are going to want.
Well, if there's one sport that should know how to adjust, it would be baseball, the biggest sport of adjustments. And there's a ton of them that Jeff Passan's talking about there. One that stands out is the idea of the biosphere, which essentially is what you're entering if you go into an extremely large community-based quarantine. And that's essentially what each city that has imposed shutdown orders is right now. It's their own little biosphere. But for Major League Baseball to have their own biosphere, you really have to keep everybody separated from the rest of the public, and that's the only way that it can get done. And you talk about testing, you're talking about thousands upon thousands of tests. Again, it's not just the players and the coaches and the managers, it's the umpires, it's the camera operators, it's the broadcasters, it's those who operate the sound, those who operate the broadcast producing trucks. It's everybody that is anywhere near these ballparks. And you have the ballparks to do it. You have a central location to do it. You understand also, too, about, why do you have a roofed ballpark for the D-backs in Arizona? Because who the hell wants to play outside in the middle of May, outdoors in the daytime? You're going to have a lot of day games, and so the game of baseball would change dramatically. I mean, I think you're talking about roster sizes that go from, right now you can have 25, and they were going to increase to 26, a 26-man active roster. I think you're talking about something like 32 to 35 players on an active roster for Major League Baseball in order to do this. You're also talking about getting the plans in place pretty soon, because if you're going to start this season in May, there's going to be, at the very least, a 2 to 3 week run-up, another spring training of sorts. And so over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be interesting to see the reactions from the Major League players. Because, I mean, the people that operate Major League Baseball can have a great idea, but unless the Players Association signs off on it, that idea disappears into the ether and matters not. I've already seen, at least one negative reaction coming from Brett Anderson, who's a left-handed pitcher. And Anderson says it begins and ends with this, and highlighted a piece of Passan's report that talks about being away from his family for 4.5 to 5 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and look, some Major League players already spend most of a 4.5 to 5 or 6 month stretch away from their family if they play in another city that they don't live in. And there's a lot of players that do that. But you can at least fly the family out and have chances to visit with them in person. If this plan goes through, you're leaving your family for an indefinite period of time, and you don't know when you're going to be in the same room with them again. So it's a much different thing. And, yes, these Major League players are paid astronomical salaries. Even those who make Major League minimum are still getting $500,000 or so. So, I mean, there are big sacrifices to be made, but I do have a feeling that if the players want to be paid their full salaries, they're going to have to do something to go out and play games. This is such an interesting idea that baseball is putting forth, Matt.
Do you think they're going to come through with it? Or do you think in 2 weeks we're talking about the return of it?
I mean, I really want to. I want to believe it, but I'm skeptical right now.
The only part I'm skeptical about is in that piece we just played from Passon just a minute ago, is if a player gets coronavirus while they're down there, and it's almost just like there's no, I don't know how to word this. To me, there's no way that, like, if just say Mike Trout gets it and they just like push him to the side and then bring the next one in. To me, I don't know. I can't see a scenario where they just move on with Mike Trout and then just keep this thing going, because the way this whole thing has been spreading now, once one person gets it, seems like 3 others that were with him got, like Rudy Gobert. We thought he was the only one, and then 2 days later, Donovan Mitchell had it.
The issue, there's a difference between the situation before and what you would be facing at a central location. The whole deal with Rudy Gobert, yes, it was one player, but you also had all the other NBA teams dispersed throughout the country, and you at that point had no idea that every single state in the country was about to have infections. If you're able to make it a central location and essentially quarantine the entire group of people involved in Major League Baseball, the biosphere, like Passon said, and one of them tests positive, if you are able to quarantine that person and continue testing everybody else at that point, then you can potentially keep the rest of the biosphere safe. But in order for that to happen, you've got to have a lot of tests. They probably have to be quick tests that take, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. So, and that's one of the reasons that I'm skeptical. I believe in science. I believe that science will be the thing that gets us out of this. I just don't know how quickly science is going to be able to get a Major League Baseball season started when baseball wants to be the first one out there and have pointed to the middle of May or sometime in May as the target date. And there is no surprise, too. And you haven't heard anything else from the other professional leagues about when they think that they're going to get started. NBA, NHL, everything else that goes along with it. But, I mean, it was just last weekend that President Trump had a large conference call with all of the major sports commissioners. And then the next thing we hear, a couple of days later, Major League Baseball has this plan that they'd like to implement with backing from federal health officials. So, look, in World War II, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said he wanted baseball to be played as a necessary diversion for the country.
Yeah.
And look, it was much different then because I don't think you were as worried about an attack on the United States necessarily as we feel we are being attacked right now by this virus. So there's differences between it. But the idea is still the same. The country needs a diversion, some sort of diversion. Baseball wants to be that diversion. I just don't know if next month is doable.
I'll support it only because that, like you mentioned, they have the backing of health officials. They just had this big conference with President Trump. So, obviously they've got, and I'm not saying this like it's a big secret or anything, obviously they've got intel to this virus that us three here don't necessarily have. The only thing that we get pretty much from this is what our governor says on broadcast, which he's coming back on at 1:30 again today. We get that, and then what we see on social media, which you take that with the teeniest, tiniest bit of grain of salt. So if they've got some inkling on maybe not necessarily this thing being done when May rolls around, but a lot more contained, quote unquote, go for it, because we're thirsty for it. The whole world is thirsty for something, some semblance of competition. And if they can do it, and if they can do it in a safe way where the players are good, the coaches are good, the media is good, whoever is in attendance for that game of essential personnel, if they can do this properly, book it. I'm all in.
Well, and, they'll change the game in certain ways, as we'd mentioned. They'll implement the electronic strike zone, and the plate umpire would stand, I guess, at least 6 feet behind the catcher or so. You'll have to continue to outrule the spitball, because nobody's going to be putting spit on the ball, right? Not supposed to for the last 89 years or so. No mound visits at all. I guess the manager can go out and get the ball from the pitcher, or does the pitcher just, kind of throw the ball away and the new reliever comes in and gets a new ball? I don't know. Does the whole mound situation change up? And players sitting in the stands 6 feet apart instead of the dugout. The one thing you won't have is fans. And from what you talked about watching WrestleMania over the weekend, and it's a much different crowd, but that is part of the atmosphere, our fans. So I saw where the Taiwanese Professional Baseball League, the CPBL, what it's called, is anticipating starting their season on April the 11th. And apparently they're putting robotic fans in the stands.
Interesting.
Yes, like dressed up in team colors. Does this sound like some sort of a dystopian nightmare or what?
Huh.
With humans on the field and robots in the stands? I thought eventually it was going to be some other way around.
Like the robots would be playing, and then the fans would be watching the robots.
Well, I can just imagine. I hope that these robots are programmed to heckle pretty well. It reminds me of number 5.
Hey, laser lips! Your mama was a snowblower.
I think that might get a robot thrown out of the ballpark.
You're out of here.
That's right. Just don't use the magic word with the human umpire, okay?
Right.
Get yourself tossed out. That's right. Crash must have called him a what? A snowblower, I guess. Nikki Chavanel coming up after the break. We're switching the conversation to Arkansas basketball, Arkansas football. And an interesting bit of info from Eric Musselman on his Instagram broadcast the other day, saying that he expects 2 Razorbacks to test the NBA waters. We already knew who the other one was.
Yep.
We knew it was Mason Jones. Who's the other one?
Wonder who.
Oh, Ty Stevens is going to try to go to the NBA.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Right, yeah. We'll talk about that with Nikki next.
To Fort Smith. It's such a big deal, we brought in a real ring announcer to set the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, armed with scissors, a pair of clippers, and if you're lucky, a smile, it's that same old hair place that takes your money and sends you on your way. But in this corner, Knockouts Haircuts for Men, where you get the best haircut of your life from one of the Knockout girls, a cold beer if you want it, and sports on every TV in the building.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men, opening soon in Fort Smith.
New Bud Light seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full
full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Be a 1-2, runner on the move, ball's drilled by Moore to deep right field. Harlan's back, still running, and it's out of here. Robert Moore over the right field fence for a home run, and that ties the game in the 5th inning. Wow, boy, the kid can flat out play.
And back on halftime as it's time to talk with Nikki Chavanel from Rivals.com, our usual Tuesday guest this time of the day. Nicole, what's new in life these days? Or is nothing new? Because that's really what it feels like day to day, doesn't it?
Nothing is new, and I can't believe it's only Tuesday, Phil. This is ridiculous.
Are you having any trouble telling one day from the next? Is it like, is every day Saturday for you right now?
Well, I'm a very religious, calendar crosser offer, so I take the simple pleasure in crossing off every day. So I do tend to know what day of the week it is. But the weekends these days, they just turn into a binge-watching fest, and then Monday slaps you right in the face again.
Wait a minute. You actually use like a paper calendar and scratch something up? I thought those things went the way of the dodo bird years ago.
I like having a visual representation of something instead of on your iPhone, you just have a little blue dot if you have an event or whatever. I like looking at it, seeing the whole month, that kind of thing.
I feel like I need your help with organization. You sound like a very organized woman. I am a supremely disorganized man. I think you could teach me, even though I'm quite a bit older than you. So at some point when normalcy returns, I will pay you to help me learn how to be organized. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, I'm down. You go to the message board and everything's color coded and everything has a similar title, so you can go and search it in our thing. I'm obsessed about it.
I just can't imagine that there is such a thing as a disorganized recruiting analyst. You people who focus on recruiting have so many different avenues that you have to pay attention to, so many different athletes to pay attention to. If you're unorganized, you are unemployed.
Yeah, my Twitter lists are ridiculous. The second someone gets an offer, they have to go on the list or they might get lost. You can't afford to be unorganized. I was surprised the other day when Vance Jackson committed because he hadn't been on the radar. I guess that was because he was only in the transfer portal for 2 days, but I was just so shocked because I had every single one that had been contacted on a list, and he just wasn't on it yet.
What did you get a sense about how Jackson fits into Arkansas? Because it seems, Eric Musselman's had his eye on him since Jackson was in high school before he went to play at UConn for that first year. And, I don't look at him as someone who's just going to replace Mason Jones. I don't think you can look at it that way. I think he adds some size to a position that Arkansas needed it, and definitely, continues to this is still going to be a team that's going to be able to light it up from long range. I think Jackson fits into that.
Yeah, he has a ton of experience. He was a former top 100 player, went to UConn, which was pretty damn good at the time in 2016. He shoots very high percentage, not very high, but 40%. That's pretty good. And I like the size at 6'9". So I think it was a good get. I'm not sure that. A lot of guys aren't going to be able to replace Mason Jones just because that dude worked so hard, and you have to. It takes many, many, many hours in the gym to produce that, but I like that he wants to come here in his last year and show what he's got, and having that previous relationship with Musselman should.
I want to transition over to football just for a second, Nikki. The recruiting dead period has been extended down to May 31st. Just talk a little bit about what that's going to do for the Razorback football team and Coach Sam Pittman.
It's going to be very interesting. They're usually based on film, and that's tough because, a lot of these highlights, they are just that. They're highlights, so you won't get to see the little bad tendencies, I guess. So you might have some missed evaluations, stuff like that. But at least this kind of puts everyone more on a similar footing. No one can go out and check out these kids. No kids can come visit, so they can't go visit the rivals either. So it just kind of puts the emphasis on building relationships. So Arkansas is pretty good at doing that. Sam Pittman's good at doing that. They're contacting so many kids a day. From what I can tell, they're making the best of it.
Another bit of good news coming for the football team. Marco Avant, I hope I'm saying that last name right. Second commit for the 2020. Avant, okay. Second commit for the 2021 class. I think this will be a good get for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like I said, I'm super, organized and stuff, but Marco hadn't reported his offer that he got the same morning that he ended up committing. So he got it Friday morning, took an hour, and then decided to commit. 6'3", about 210-ish. So a lot of upside with him because he's going to continue to grow, obviously. He plays outside linebacker the most, but he can also go to safety. He also goes on the boundary sometimes. So really, really versatile player. And I think that if Arkansas had an offer now, anyways, he's got, 14 other offers. So definitely a kid that you want to keep in state, especially with offers from, Houston, Kansas, Memphis. He was going to go to a pretty decent program if he wasn't coming to Arkansas, so you want to keep him.
Hey, Nick, you saw on Eric Musselman's Instagram Live, what was it, 2 days ago? He'd mentioned 2 players testing NBA waters. Now, we knew about Mason Jones. There's been no announcement about Isaiah Joe from Zay or anybody else. But you don't even need tea leaves to read what Musselman said. It sounds like Isaiah Joe is going to declare for the draft. Is that what you think too?
I'm surprised that Isaiah Joe hasn't said anything, but he's typically, more of a quiet guy. But yeah, it's hard to misconstrue what Musselman was saying. I think that he definitely you put in a request to get feedback from the NBA is like the first step, and I'm sure that he's done that. It's really obvious that to me that he was going to test the waters because, he's projected as a mid-second round at least from the majority of guys that do the mock draft. So it makes sense to me. Now it's just, does he think that that's as good as it's going to get, or can he go even higher if he returns?
Yeah. The other thing I took from Musselman's live IG was, first of all, the pointed elbow towards Coach English at Tennessee. And he mentioned that the biggest difference between coaching in the Mountain West and coaching in the Southeastern Conference is the negative recruiting. And, he did that in the same 5-minute period. Later on, he talked about how much he respects all of the head coaches in the SEC. And I guess you can put these two things together, negative recruiting and respect for all the coaches and their coaching acumen and everything they've experienced. But what do you know about negative recruiting basketball-wise in the SEC? Are there certain schools that try to do that a little bit more? That one sort of surprised me.
Because he's targeting such highly ranked players and even, some of the top transfer guys, I think it's just natural. He's such an out in the public eye personality that people are going to want to negative recruit him because, you see who he is on social media, but you don't really know him. That's probably what they're kind of trying to say, you don't really know how he's going to be as a coach or whatever. But by all accounts, from what we've heard from Arkansas players, is that they absolutely love him. So I think it wouldn't take too long for a recruit or transfer prospect to do some more research and he could overcome that negative recruiting. But it's natural. He's one of the hottest new coaches in the SEC this year, so there's going to be a target on his back, and I'm sure he'll be able to overcome that.
Yeah, but on so much of the stuff that he does is also entertaining at the same time. It's not necessarily like a look at me, I'm this funny guy and everything. It just feels like he's, and I thought this was the same thing during the summer when he's just introducing himself to the fan base and to students on campus. It just he entertains this fan base. I think they appreciate that.
You don't see that from other head coaches. I like to think I pay a decent amount of attention. You just don't see it. So I think that they're a little threatened by his more front-facing persona. Yeah, I would be worried if I was them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried either. I agree. Nikki, I appreciate you stopping by as always. Thanks so much. And, again, we'll work on some sort of a schedule so you can teach me some organization because God needs I know the help.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Appreciate you so much. It's Nikki Chabanel joining us here on Halftime. You know, I think it's kind of fun. I would like to go back and look at what some coaches might have said about, like, Eddie Sutton back in the 70s when Eddie was bringing television cameras into the locker room so that fans could see some of the speeches that he gave to his team.
Yep.
I wonder if some of the other coaches back then were saying, oh, you know, look at this guy. He's all about himself. He's all about getting his face on the camera and everything like that. You know, I mean, Eddie Sutton was viewed as a pioneer in his day for how he utilized the media at his behest. Yep. Eric Musselman is doing the exact same thing. It's just different media.
And she's right. You don't see a lot of coaches doing that right now.
No. All right, we'll come back after the break. 877-377-6963. Thanks for tuning in today.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Cultivators of the cul-de-sac, run with us on a John Deere X370 Select Series lawn tractor because yard work is about more than just mowing. It's about moments that last a lifetime, like when your daughter Emily has a shot at making wiffle ball history on her home turf. And that's why the X370 leaves nothing to chance with one-touch mulch control technology and attachments for every season, so Emily can knock it out of the park. This is more than just grass. It's the stuff legends are made of. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Backyard vacations. That's what Burton Pools and Spas can do for you and your family. Hi, Tommy Kraft here from my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas. Have your summer plans been changed? Why not vacation in your own backyard with an in-ground or above-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas? And Burton Pools and Spas understands your summer plans have likely changed. That's why they have special savings to make your backyard your vacation place this summer. Save up to $700 off on Doughboy above ground pool packages. Hot Spring Spas with instant savings and rebates up to $3,300 off. And endless pool fitness systems with $10,000 in savings right now. And you can count on Burton Pools and Spas to be there every step of the way. They're locally owned, locally operated, and they've been around for more than 40 years. Vacation in your own backyard this summer with Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Madden's 1-0. Kerstad hits a high drive to center with a chance. Back goes Todd. Todd's at the wall. That's gone. And Heston Kerstad leads off the 6th inning with his 5th home run of the season. Well, I know we're doing a sports show here in Arkansas, but I wanted to discuss the passing of one of the all-time great baseball players who does have a connection to the state of Arkansas. Al Kaline, the real Tiger King. Mr. Tiger passed away yesterday in his early 70s. Al Kaline was a true gentleman. He played for the Detroit Tigers for 22 years. Never played for another team. 3,007 career base hits, 399 career home runs. He is the answer to a trivia question, and that question is, who is the only player to hit 300 home runs or more and never hit 30 in a season? He had 29 in a season. That was his high. He also was the youngest player to ever win a batting title at the age of 20. Won the 1955 American League batting crown at .340 batting average, the first of 13 straight All-Star appearances. He had a really interesting start to his career. He began his career SmackDown before the days of the Major League Baseball draft. If I can pinpoint the year, I think the draft started in 64 or 1965. And I don't know when the rule changed, but for a long time, Major League teams were not allowed to give a bonus to a player out of high school any more than $2,000. And if they did, if there was a bonus for more than $2,000, then that player had to spend 2 years with the Major League team before he could go to the minors for seasoning. So it was awfully rare, $2,000. So Al Kaline, who's from Baltimore, was signed out of high school for $35,000.
Wow.
In the 50s, that's a ton of money. And spent his first 2 years, he never played in the minor leagues. Got into a handful of games at the age of 20. He was a regular at the age of got in about a handful of games at the age of 18. Was a regular at the age of 19, batting champion by the age of 20. And went on to have a singular career as really the face of one of the original American League franchises. I think if you're going to look at the all-time great Tigers, there's Ty Cobb, and then there's Al Kaline. Kaline was a member of the 1980 Hall of Fame class. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and this is just a snippet of his speech.
If there is one accomplishment for which I am particularly proud, it is that I've always served baseball to the best of my ability. Never have I deliberately done anything to discredit the game, the Tigers, or my family. By far, being inducted into the Hall of Fame is the proudest moment in my life. You can be sure that I will make every effort to live up to the obligations associated with this honor. Thank you.
Kaline was lauded for being one of the more personable players of his time. He was also kind of like the Roberto Clemente of the American League. He was a right fielder with a humongously strong arm, a terrific outfielder. And just like Clemente, played for the same team for his whole career and amassed 3,000 base hits. But while Clemente died tragically in a plane crash on New Year's Eve, 1972, Kaline got to retire and then broadcast for the team that he played for and eventually became a special assistant. So the Arkansas connection is his longtime friendship with former teammate George Kell, who's from Newport, Arkansas, up there in the northeastern portion of the state. And, Kell, also a Hall of Famer, played his career all with the with the Tigers and then went on to become the television voice of the Tigers for years and years. I found a little bit of an opening segment from opening day 1984 with George Kell and Al Kaline at Minnesota's Metrodome. This is just before the Tigers and Twins opened the 84 season.
I'm George Kell along with Al Kaline. It's opening day of the baseball season. There's been several games played during the afternoon. The Tigers opening here in just a couple of moments. Everything that happened in Florida, Al, is forgotten, and I know they want to forget a few things that happened down there.
Well, as I mentioned, George, they did not play well in spring training, but nobody was really overly concerned. They went to spring training knowing what kind of team they were expecting to have. They had a little question mark as far as the pitching, but they plugged a couple of holes as far as getting Hernandez in the bullpen. I think the team looks great. I think they're ready to have a big year.
And boy, was he ever right. That 84 Tigers team SmackDown was maybe the best Tigers team ever. Got out to a 35-5 start.
Oh, man.
And
you don't see that very often.
No, they won over 100 games. They won the World Series, defeating San Diego in 5 games. That's the first World Series I was lucky enough to attend at the age of 7, one of those ball games. And I did get a chance to meet Mr. Kaline at George Kell night at Dickey Stevens Park in North Little Rock. I forget the exact year, 2008 or 9 or 10. These years end up, mashing together. But we were doing a George Kell night to celebrate Kell's career, and not only did Al Kaline come down, but so did Brooks Robinson. And that's one of the real thrills of my career in life, is introducing those 3 Hall of Famers to a small crowd because it was raining, and the game got rained out, but we continued to have our ceremony. Just a great life led by Al Kaline, and you can see, anybody that's from Detroit, I've seen, you focus on celebrities because that's who people, know more than anything else. Jeff Daniels, Jack White, just ad nauseum. Just everybody from Detroit has an Al Kaline story, and they're heartbroken today. So, this is the same level as we were talking about this with Tom Brady in SmackDown, and how many players play their entire career with one team. It's so rare these days. Kell and Kaline were 2 of them, along with, and I'm just going with the major league players here of late. Of course, there's Derek Jeter, there's Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell, Edgar Martinez, Kirby Puckett, but Kaline sort of was in a class of some of the classiest players to ever play the game. Can you imagine that 68 World Series with Al Kaline, Denny McClain, with the Tigers amongst the rest of those great players against the St. Louis Cardinals, Stan Musial and Don and Bob Gibson and Lou Brock and all those guys. Gibson and Musial never played for another team. So that's one of the more iconic teams in baseball history. I think that 1968 Tigers team, of which Kaline, he was hurt most of that year, but still had one of the biggest hits of that World Series. I think it was the series. It was the hit that kind of swung the series over towards Detroit as they came back from a 3-1 deficit. So
I know we talked about in the morning rush a little bit, and you just brought the thought back into my head. I'm young, and I wish I could have been alive during those times of the 60s and 70s during that great time of baseball. I know as a basketball fan, we talked this morning being alive during the 80s NBA Finals with Magic and Bird, with the Lakers and the Celtics. Moments like that in sports history, I wish. I've got YouTube, and ESPN has you covered and all that. But it's different when you can be there live, or you're alive during that time when all of this was happening.
Yeah, this was one of the iconic players of that time that I still feel sometimes was overshadowed by some of the larger single season achievements of players like Sandy Koufax or even Musial or Bob Gibson with that incredible 1968 season. Kaline was an incredibly consistent player. If you play 22 years and hit 399 home runs but never hit 30 in a season, that means you hit about 18 to 28 home runs almost every single year. Finished with a career batting average of 297, never hit any lower than 262, and that was his last season.
Just consistent.
So, just extremely consistent, and known for, being one of the faces of a franchise that right now, doesn't necessarily have that face. And I'm forgetting about Miguel Cabrera. I should say.
Yep.
So if you're gonna tier the greatest Tigers of all time, Ty Cobb's got to be at the top of the list. And I know you guys earlier today on the Morning Rush did a show about the biggest jerks in sports.
Yep.
I think Ty Cobb didn't just take the cake, but he baked the cake and ate the cake at the same time.
Yeah, he did.
Ty Cobb was probably the most miserable human being in baseball history, next to maybe like Rogers Hornsby, who wouldn't even allow his players when he was a manager to read the newspaper, for crying out loud, or go to movies because he thought it ruined their eyes. Anyway, there'd be Cobb, there'd be Kaline, and Miguel Cabrera. Hey, Cabrera won a couple of the Triple Crowns. And I don't think the Triple Crown necessarily means what we all think it means, but it is a pretty incredible achievement. It hasn't happened too often. Maybe I'd put Cabrera ahead of Kaline, but Kaline belongs there. And folks up in Detroit are heartbroken today because of that. All right, plenty coming up during the second hour here of halftime. We do have our greatest Razorback football game of all time bracket link live right now on hitthatline.com. We're into the Paul Eels region, right? That's the region we've opened up today, SmackDown?
Yep.
I feel so proud that I renamed the Bobby Petrino region to the Paul Eels region.
I had to go through hell and back just to get that changed. Todd was threatening to fight me. He just wanted it Petrino. I said, no, I am defending Phil's honor.
Come on, Ty. I mean, you're a radio guy. That was what Paul Eels was too. And come on, let's not buy into the cult of BMFP, for crying out loud. Let's buy into the love of Paul Eels, the guy who definitely needs to have his own wing of this bracket. So
you ain't kidding.
Now we'll update what happened yesterday. Preview the matchups today in the Paul Eels bracket. Well, also, hey, we had a winner in the Ultra Backyard Marathon yesterday. It took over 3 days for somebody to finally win the thing. And it looks like Dana White wants to buy himself a private island. Hey, go get yourself your own private Idaho, though. No, Idaho's under quarantine, too. And your calls and texts, 877-377-6963. We are right back.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Even though things have changed right now, CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers remains open to help keep your family fed. You don't have to sacrifice the wonderful flavor of fresh, daily ground beef burgers or piping hot fries at all. The Fayetteville location on Weddington delivers lunch or dinner through the Waiter app, or come on over and use the drive-thru. CJ's in Russellville is open for pickup during normal business hours, and as always, they're making sure everything is sanitized and safe for you. Don't forget to download the CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers smartphone app for an easy way to order. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers has you covered, because when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
I'll get drive-thru.
The Arkansas Attorney General warns Arkansans to be aware of scammers impersonating government officials calling or emailing about COVID-19 economic stimulus package eligibility. The AG tells people to only rely on official government websites for economic relief information. Never get personal information over the phone or by email. The U.S. government will not be contacting you to determine your eligibility for the stimulus package. If you are contacted by a potential scammer, call the Arkansas AG at 800-482-8982 or visit the arkansasag.gov website.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mostly cloudy sky, and overnight low will drop down into the low 60s, and we'll still see a few lingering showers and thunderstorms across the south tonight. We're looking at partly sunny skies on Tuesday, a few isolated showers or thunderstorms early across the south, high temperatures low 80s, and everybody sees a decent amount of sunshine Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Outside is fun again with Mosquito Joe. Mosquito Joe rids your yard of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas.
Good
so
station.
You can enjoy being outside.
KERX
Call Mosquito
Parasports
Joe at 501
This is
508
halftime,
2528
coming at
or
you from the
visit
Bushlight Studios on
ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
ESPN 95.3.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour, halftime. Get with us. 877-377-6963. Phil Elson, Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T in studios. I have assigned SmackDown a new movie. One that did you heard of Short Circuit before I played this clip? Because maybe we get some robotic baseball fans in these games that Major League Baseball wants to play at empty stadiums. But Taiwanese baseball is going to have robotic fans.
Hey, laser lips! Your mama was a snowblower.
You going to watch this movie now, SmackDown?
I'll watch it just for you.
All right, because you've got a lengthy list that's starting to pile up on you.
I've got 3 right now, and that's over 2 days. So about a movie every day that I'm getting told to watch. And I know this because Ty was talking about this a couple days ago. I think Ty's list is up to like 70 or 80.
And I gave him a new one yesterday. He sent me a text of, I don't remember the movie it was that he was watching. It was starring Tim Matheson and Stephen Furst, 2 guys from Animal House. I said, he said it's raunchy. It's right down my alley. I said, well, I got something that's raunchy and right down your alley, too. It's called Bachelor Party. Have you seen that movie, Matty T?
Yeah.
You've seen
Tom
that
Hanks?
one, too? Yeah, with Tom Hanks, Tawny Katane. Absolutely. You know, that's when Tom Hanks did, like, a lot of goofy movies. That was Bosom Buddies Tom Hanks. That wasn't, it wasn't
he
quarantine
even did, like,
coronavirus Tom Hanks,
he
that's
even
for
did,
sure.
like, was it Turner and Hooch?
Well, that was Turner and Hooch was like 7 years after Bachelor
that was.
Party.
I guess that's after he was really established.
Right. Yeah. So this was. This was a movie that involves. Let's just put it this way. All right. It's just a movie, but barn animals.
Love how you start that.
Alcohol and heavy drugs inside a hotel room. Okay. Is that raunchy enough for you? It is rated R. It is rated R. Circa 83, 84. Tawny Katane. And then I also told Ty to do this, and anybody out there is free to do this too. If you would like to be entertained at some point, Google Tawny Katane, Chuck Finley, arrest. Okay?
Okay.
Tawny Katane, for those who remember, was an actress, model.
Wasn't she in a music video?
Heavy metal girlfriend from the 80s. I forget exactly the...
Was it a Whitesnake video?
I think it was a Whitesnake video. That's right. Steve Finley was a left-handed pitcher for the California Angels. And they got married, and it did not go very well. Something involving a car, a set of high-heel pumps, and 65 miles an hour. So go ahead and Google that at some point later today.
I'll do that.
When you're figuring out when the next time you're going to watch this movie. That will that'll give you a good hour of entertainment. And of course, what do you need? What do you need these days?
Need every bit you can get.
You need to find a way to entertain yourself.
Well, I brought Raising Arizona and Fargo for you to watch.
Ooh, Fargo. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of Fargo. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of Fargo before.
So, but you still have so you did bring him Short Circuit. Not Short Circuit, Raising Arizona.
Yes,
you did bring him Son, You Got a Panty on your
Absolutely,
head.
yes.
Okay, good. Good. I feel like this show is going exactly the same way that it did with Ty Richardson SmackDown. I'm educating you. I feel like a professor of stupidity, actually.
Well, we all teach each other something. I mean, I feel like I've taught you two wrestling. I know you two are teaching me good movies. I mean, we all just rub off on each other.
Justin says Tom Hanks' Money Pit. That's a good movie.
That's a good one, too.
One, yes.
Shelley Long.
Yep.
That's a pretty good movie, too.
I even liked Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that's right. Hanks plays Pep Streebek in Dragnet. Dabney Coleman is in that movie too. There's a blast from the past from the 80s.
Speaking of Dabney Coleman, did you ever see that movie where the whole time he thinks that he's got like a terminal disease and he needs to get killed? He's like a cop and needs to get killed on the job so his life insurance will be paid. So it's the whole movie. He's like doing all this crazy stuff trying to get killed.
No, that one I missed.
Really funny.
My favorite Dabney Coleman movie was Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger. I thought I was the only person that saw that movie.
Oh, I saw that movie in the theaters, man. Yep. Great San Antonio movie for everybody. You haven't seen Cloak and Dagger SmackDown, have you?
We're going to put that on the list, too.
Yeah, your list just keeps growing and growing and growing.
I don't even know how you spell that. Cloakendale?
CLOAK.
Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, Cloak and Dagger. Oh.
And Dagger, yeah. So that'll waste you a good hour and a half at the very least.
I wouldn't call it wasting, though. That's time well spent.
You will cry. That movie will bring out some tears.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I do wonder how a movie like that holds up, because I think that movie is geared towards, like, a kid the age of the main character's age.
Like
and that's like how old I was.
Yeah,
like that's how old I was when I watched it. I wonder how it holds up if you're in your or mid-20s.
27.
Yeah.
The lovely lady and I have introduced the Back to the Future series to her daughter, who's 8 years old.
Great.
And she loved the first movie. We watched that a week ago. Last night was Back to the Future 2. And this is the first time I've watched that movie since we passed 2015, which is where they transport to. And it's really funny to see some of the things that were predicted, like the shoes that tie themselves, the jackets that fit themselves.
They had a food rehydrator. They had the tiny Pizza Hut pizza.
The Cubs winning the World Series.
They were 1 year off of that.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, it was one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Cubs won in 2016. This was 2015. That was, and of course, there was like Jaws had 36 different versions.
Yeah, but the
flying cars
shark still looks fake.
You're talking about that, and I'm sure y'all have seen it. It was on the Pat McAfee show, and he wanted to get the guy off of I can't remember the fella's name, but he created. Oh Lord, help me.
John DeLorean.
No, here, go move on. I'll come back to that.
Well, DeLorean is the one who came up with the car. That's the time machine is built inside.
Okay, that's right. He was he wanted to get the guy off that created The Simpsons.
Matt Groening?
Yes, because Matt Groening thinks Matt Groening is a time traveler for all the things that The Simpsons has predicted, and it's turned out to be true.
Like the Trump presidency.
That somehow they thought they predicted 9/11. I don't know about that, but it's interesting.
Wow.
I'll send you this.
I did not know about this. That
I'll
The
send you this
Simpsons was a predictor of the future?
Yeah, you can go on YouTube, and it's like there's all these little clips from The Simpsons where they jokingly mention something that ended up becoming true years later.
And it's eerily accurate. Like, taking President Trump, for example. They've got a video in here of him running down the escalator and President Trump waving. In 2000, they had the episode of The Simpsons, and he's doing the exact same thing.
The thing is, though, there was always talk about him being president.
Well, still,
since the 80s.
But they got the mannerisms down to the same, like to the freaking hand wave.
Can The Simpsons tell us whether or not Major League Baseball is going to play next month in Arizona?
We can get.
That's what I want. That's what I want to find out next.
We can get in touch with Matt Groening and get him to figure that out.
Got some texts in asking. Well, this has turned into a good pop culture segment here. 877-377-6963. BE says, "What you talking about, Willis? You remember what show that came from, Matty T?"
Yes, that's not Different Strokes.
Different Strokes, very good. Different Strokes with
Todd Bridges and
That's exactly. I got hooked on that one.
Gary
Brian
Coleman.
in Fort Smith wants to know if you've seen Ready to Rumble SmackDown.
Of course I
liked that movie.
Ready to Rumble's fantastic.
You probably know all the lines, right? Like I know all the lines to Bull Durham.
I'm a big wrestling fan. I don't know if I can name all the lines.
Speaking of which, that movie was written by Stephen Merchant, who did the original Office, the British Office. So you liked the American Office.
I did. I thought about starting to watch the UK
It's funny.
Office.
It's not very long. It's only 2 seasons.
I can handle that.
Did you ever watch Mork and Mindy?
I
Mike
love
Fort
Mork
Smith
and
wants to ask you about Mork and Mindy. That's what
Nanu
introduced Robin Williams to the world.
I mean, that was a great show for a kid too, because he was just silly. He would when he sat down, he'd sit upside down and stuff.
He was incredibly silly. I mean, this is where like half of his comedy came from.
Mark calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Mark calling Orson. Come in, Orson.
Mark calling Orson. Come in, your fatitude. Down, baby, get down. Ha! Don't.
I'll be with you in a moment.
I'm telling you, I mean, it was like this was where Robin Williams' stand-up comedy came from. It came from Mork and Mindy. Oh my gosh, have we mentioned sports once on this segment? This has turned into a segment of Ruskin and Zach. We just haven't mentioned food yet. I promised you that we had we'd give you the winners of yesterday's start to the greatest Razorback football game of all time bracket.
We can do that next segment.
We'll do that next segment. Plus, we'll preview the Paul Eels bracket as well. You heard that right, Ty Richardson. It's Paul Eels. Get Bobby Petrino off my freaking lawn on this Tuesday. We're brought to you by Mr. Auto Glass. They're locally owned by Bobby Gregory for the last 32 years. They'll handle all your glass replacement and repairs for any car, truck, bus, or all heavy equipment. They're open right now, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 3017 Towson Avenue is the address. You can call 782-4441 for an appointment. They'll come find you. They offer mobile service right on the day that you have made the appointment. Get with us on halftime. We'll come back after the break.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Carl, who is the worst sports fan?
2018 Texas A&M game. Late in the fourth quarter, this middle-aged woman, I haven't talked to her, said anything to her, anything like that. She throws the bird in my face. So I said something to her, Weight Watchers and stuff like that. I was about the Bills Mafia table in there in Cowboy Stadium. I was so mad.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, Tommy here for Bobby Gregory and the team at Mr. Auto Glass. They've been around for 32 years, and there's a reason why. It's customer service. They take care of you no matter what your need, whether it's replacing the glass in your automobile, your truck, your bus, your heavy equipment, or repairing one of those nasty old rock chips you picked up driving down the road. They even offer mobile service on site right here in the River Valley. Most jobs completed the same day. Call Bobby and the team for your appointment. 782-4441. That's 782-4441 for Mr. Auto Glass.
Spring is here and the deals are hot at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. New inventory is arriving daily with a great selection to choose from, like GM, Ford, Toyota, Nissan, and many more. You will find your experience to be easy and affordable as the staff at Hertz finds the perfect car, SUV, or truck that you are looking for. And remember, trade-ins are always welcome. Make the short drive to Hertz Car Sales and find there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
Even though things have changed right now, CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers remains open to help keep your family fed. You don't have to sacrifice the wonderful flavor of fresh, daily ground beef burgers or piping hot fries at all. The Fayetteville location on Weddington delivers lunch or dinner through the Waiter app, or come on over and use the drive-thru. CJ's in Russellville is open for pickup during normal business hours, and as always, they're making sure everything is sanitized and safe for you. Don't forget to download the CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers smartphone app for an easy way to order. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers has you covered, because when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
I'll get drive-thru. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
See the full line of Gravely mowers with 0% financing for 48 months at Bush Tractor in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
And it'll be Dungy on the trigger from the baseline. Feeds Ramirez. Catch and shoot three by Amber is good. And a 20-point game for Amber Ramirez. Welcome back into halftime. Phil Elson, SmackDown, T. One of the moments where the stuff going on between segments might be more interesting. We've got to find a way to get some of these segments during the commercial breaks on. I think it'll have to go the satellite radio route, though. All right, so I promised we would update you on our greatest Razorback game in history. We're talking football only.
Yes.
Yesterday was the Frank Broyles region, and it was all chalk.
All chalk.
Yeah, for those who like upsets, there were none yesterday. But honestly, when you look at these matchups, how could there have been an upset?
Closest one we had was a 7-10 matchup, the 0-1 matchup against South Carolina. I believe that one was at War Memorial Stadium. We blocked the kick at the end. That was a 58-41 matchup, percentage matchup between the number 10 seed, but we beat Auburn in Petrino's first year.
Can I give you a little remembrance of that game for me? Of course. I don't remember a darn thing about the game, but back then
Which one?
From the 2001 versus South Carolina. I lived 2 blocks from War Memorial Stadium at that point. That was my first year living in Arkansas. And, boy, I mean, I was making $15,000 a year working for the Travelers. So you make money any way you can. How do you make money when you lived in Hillcrest, when the Hogs used to play 3 games a year in the neighborhood? Well, you park cars on your lawn. 6 cars on my lawn, right side by side next to each other, each $20. That was a huge day for me, man. I remember nothing about the game. I remember everything about parking cars.
Heck yeah.
And people offering me certain things so that they wouldn't have to pay $20 to put their car on my lawn. Get off my lawn.
We moved on with so we got next round for the Broyles region. You've got the 69 shootout against the 8th seed, the 61 matchup against Baylor. The college game day matchup against Tennessee moved on. 06 against Auburn, number 2 Auburn. That was a great game for Darren McFadden and Felix Jones and that company. The 71 matchup against Texas. The 89 matchup against Houston, which was the year that Andre Ware won the Heisman for Houston. So there is that one. And we talked about that. And the 0-2 Miracle on Markham destroyed the 2014 Texas Bowl.
Just look at how many of these games that moved on to the second round were played in Little Rock.
Yep.
I don't mean this to open up any great stadium.
No, you're 100% right, though.
I mean, three of the ones that moved on were War Memorial Stadium games. Miracle on Markham, 2001 against Carolina, 89 against Houston. Yep, those were other days. There is
We got voting going on right now.
We do.
At hitthatline.com, also on our Twitter feed. That's at hitthatline for the Paul Eels region. Used to be the Bobby Petrino region. And tell us about these. Tell us about these. Yeah, this is my one imprint upon this bracket. I was able to convince the powers that be to rename the bracket for a jerk for one who is universally loved.
Overall number 1 seed in this region is the 78 Orange Bowl victory against number 2 Oklahoma. We originally had that as a number 2 seed, but Clay, we knew this was going to be a high-seeded game, but Clay Henry really talked that, and he was right. The importance of that game, I mean, it knocked Oklahoma out of a running for a national championship, and just the overall upset factor when you have so many players suspended for Arkansas. That took on the number 9, the 16 seed in this one. 93 matchup against South Carolina. Obviously, I think nearly everybody's going to go the Orange Bowl route for this one. The 8-9 matchup is an 85 matchup against number 11 Baylor, which was at War Memorial Stadium, taking on the 9 seed, the 76 Cotton Bowl against Georgia. This is a good one because I think we might have an upset on our hands, and I can pull this up here once I get through reading this. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing.
Well, this is the 92 win against Tennessee.
Yes, which
first major win in this conference.
Yep, taking on the 12 seed, which I remember this game. It was a fantastic one to watch. The 2015 4-overtime victory against the Auburn Tigers. And I think at last check,
and that's the Hogs' only victory against Gus, right?
I believe that is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not.
What means more, getting your first win over a ranked team in this conference or beating Gus Malzahn for the only time?
Well, it changed since I last saw it, so there you go. But it's 54-45 in favor of the Tennessee game. Mm-hmm. So it was changed a little bit since I last saw it. The 2000 Cotton Bowl. This one, okay, maybe it was this one I was thinking about. The 2000 Cotton Bowl against Texas versus the second Miracle on Markham, the 2008 matchup against LSU, which was the fade route to London Crawford from Casey Dick.
Yeah, that was a great way to end his career. I just don't know how you can overcome a win over Texas in a bowl game in Texas.
Well,
although and obviously the Cotton Bowl has so much more meaning than the Texas Bowl and borderline erotic, but and the famous horns down from Coach Nutt.
That one right now, the 2008 Miracle on Markham is actually winning 71-28 on Twitter, which kind of surprised me. I figured the Cotton Bowl would have got that one, but I guess not. You talked about it just then, the Matt Jones ambush in Austin, 2003 against Texas, taking on Matt Jones' senior day, 2004 against Ole Miss when he did the slam dunk on the goalpost. You've got the 07 matchup against LSU. That is the 3 seed. Houston's last game when you went down to LSU and smacked them in triple overtime. Taking on the 09 matchup against the Auburn Tigers. That was the big hit from Jericho Nelson that sent his helmet flying into the other end zone. The 7-10, 2011 versus Texas A&M. That was the last time you beat Texas A&M, and it was a tremendous comeback, which was breathtaking to be there live to see that thing. Taking on the 10 seed, the Child's Please Play, 2010 against number 12, Georgia. And then the 2 seed, it's 3 words, and you automatically know what it is. Sterner to Lucas, 99 against Tennessee. And then that is taking on the 15 seed, 1997, against number 11, Alabama.
All right, then later on in the week, you got the Houston Nutt region and the Kenny Hatfield region. And we'll also have our second-round matchup sometime by the end of this week, right?
Yeah, you can. We'll have those two following up Wednesday and Thursday. If you want to get on and vote, you can go to hitthatline.com. It's a nice, big front-page article of Frank Broyles. You can click on that and vote. You can also vote via social media. You can go to Twitter at HitThatLineAR, and you can get on Facebook at HitThatLine, and it has links there for you to come in and vote on Twitter. So get out there and vote. It's been fun so far.
It has been. All right, so the folks at Hogbeat, I think this was Hutch that put this together, had a little fun about if you were given $15 and you had 25 players to choose from at 5 different positions. You have 5 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 tight ends, 5 wide receivers, 5 offensive linemen, all Razorbacks, all at different money levels that you would essentially be paying to draft them. You know, the $1 level would be Casey Dick at quarterback. The $2 level is Austin Allen. The $3 level is Matt Jones. Tyler Wilson is $4. Ryan Mallett's $5, so on and so forth. The rest of them, you got You got Fred Talley, running back. Niall Davis is your $2 running back. Matt Jones is that's Felix Jones is your $3 running back. Alex Collins for $4. D-Mac for $5. Tight ends are A.J. Derby, Jeremy Sprinkle, C.J. O'Grady. Why am I forgetting?
Jeremy Sprinkle.
I already
DJ Williams.
DJ Williams, of course. I know DJ, and then
Hunter Henry.
And then Hunter Henry. Got Childs, Monk, Hamilton, Adams, and Wright, your wide receivers. Luigs, Swanson, Trottola, Ragnow, and Andrews, your offensive lineman. You get $15. I put my team together, and it's as simple as this, all right?
Let's hear it.
You give me Matt Jones and Darren McFadden, and you don't need anybody else. That's not true, Ann. You do need somebody to block for him, okay? So, I want Frank Ragnow as my offensive lineman. That cost me $4. D-Mac is my only $5 buy, and then Matt Jones is $3. That leaves me with $3 to go. I'll take the $1 tight end, A.J. Derby, and a $2 wide receiver, Marcus Monk. And all I need are Ragnow, McFadden, and Jones. We're going to run an option, and nobody's ever going to catch us.
I'll go Ryan Mallett just because I would either take Tyler Wilson or Ryan Mallett just for the passing sake. I know, like, watching Ryan Mallett throw football, despite like all the how arrogant he might have been or anything like that, the dude can throw the football. So I'll take Ryan Mallett as my $5 quarterback. I'll take Felix Jones as my $3 running back. Let's see. So that's 8, 10. Give me Jeremy Sprinkle. Give me Greg Childs, and I'll take Swanson. And we're just going to throw the ball over the field.
Okay, so Ryan Mallett's going to spend pretty much the entire game on his ass. He's just going to get knocked around because he got the cheap offensive lineman. Travis Swanson's fine. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Frank Ragnow.
That's true. That's fair.
I think
all he needs is 3 seconds. That's all you need.
I think my team would beat your team, SmackDown.
Ooh.
Because all we've got to do is just look. I mean,
you're right though.
Matt Jones or Darren McFadden running the ball, you don't even have to throw it. It's like A.J. Derby's just going to block. Marcus Monk is only going to block. We're going to have Ragnow, Monk, and Derby blocking for Matt Jones or Darren McFadden. Good luck.
And to think that we were a year away, and I know there's no way this could have happened. I guess you could have retroed whatever. Could you imagine the actual, a legit team of Matt Jones and Darren McFadden? Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis.
You should have to choose a coach at the same time. You know, Chad Morris is your $1 coach.
Is he even worth that?
I know. Who do you put ahead? Is Morris $1 or is it John L. Smith?
John L. Smith is $1. At least he won 4 games.
Bielema would be your $2 coach.
That's something we need to discuss. Yeah.
I think you're going to go with. I mean, where is Houston Nutt? Is he going to be $4 or $5? We're not going into the 90s, so this isn't Hatfield. You know, you're not going back into the long. Back in the day, so you're not going to choose Frank. Who's the $5 coach? Is it Petrino?
Well, it'd have to be just based on success.
I guess so. We just can't have a region name for him in our bracket.
Right.
That's the one thing I ask for. 877-377-6963. We'll come right back after the break and continue to have some fun.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to get back out on the road. Time for winter's rolled down and radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands, such as Toyo. They also offer oil changes, tire alignments, and much more. Trust Southern Tire Mart for your last-minute getaways, open-road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you're free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo. They'll keep you rolling.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men is coming to Fort Smith. It's such a big deal, we brought in a real ring announcer to set the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, armed with scissors, a pair of clippers, and if you're lucky, a smile, it's that same old hair place that takes your money and sends you on your way. But in this corner, Knockouts Haircuts for Men, where you get the best haircut of your life from one of the Knockout Girls, a cold beer if you want it, and sports on every TV in the building.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men, opening soon in Fort Smith.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. Wear your shield, wear your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Kerstad goes the other way with a high fly ball to deep left near the corner. Topple racing over at the fence. That ball's out of here. Snuck over the wall. 2 homers for Kerstad today. He went to right. This time he goes to left. Well, the NFL draft is still going later on this month. It is going to be on time. It will still be the exact amount of rounds, 7 of them. And it is all going to be done virtually and at home, according to Roger Goodell, who sent a memo to all of the NFL teams. I'd read where the Saints wanted to hold their draft inside a brewery in the city of New Orleans. Apparently, that's not going to be allowed. I think every single person that is involved in the draft, decision makers, will be at home. They won't be able to access their executive offices. They won't be able to access the stadiums. They won't be able to access anything except their own computers and their own telephones, and that's how the draft is going to be done. I mean, you want to talk about the most, the most hyped event of any offseason, of any sport. And remember what the draft was supposed to look like when they initially came up with the plans. Las Vegas, Bellagio fountains, players that are drafted are taken by boat to the stage in the middle of the fountains with all the lights and the craziness and the neon and Vegas just being Vegas. It was going to be the most ridiculous spectacle in the history of sports that don't involve an actual game. And now look what the draft is going to be. It's just going to be people hanging out in their living rooms on computers, and you're just going to have to wonder if the is Bill Belichick wearing pants while he's drafting somebody? This is what I continue to wonder.
He'll be in his pajamas the whole time.
Nobody can tell right now if I'm fully clothed. You want me to stand up? Would you like to find out? Our viewers on Periscope and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, they could find out right now. So watch what happens. I'll stand up. Just imagine if you're wondering if Bill Belichick is fully clothed. Yep, I've got shorts on. Don't worry.
Okay, good. I thought I was about to get a view.
It's going to be – I mean, look, I think everybody's going to be excited to have the NFL draft happen just because it's happening.
but it's going to be awfully dialed down. I mean, there'll be no fireworks. There'll be no real hype. And the other thing about this, and, like Nikki mentions about the recruiting dead period for all of college sports now, in which, you can't have an athlete visit campus. You can't have a face-to-face meeting. It's all done over FaceTime, and it's all done through highlight videos. And a lot of NFL executives are complaining that they do not have access to these draft prospects individually. They can't meet with them. They can't do their psychological tests that they usually do. And, so it's a completely different draft process than these teams are used to. And I'd seen where Kevin Colbert, who's the general manager of the Steelers, is trying to lobby to add 2 or 3 rounds to the draft. Because the idea is that without the usual access to these players, there are going to be more draft mistakes. So you should allow more rounds. I doubt at this late in the game that they'll add rounds to it, but this gives you a window into at least what some of these teams are thinking. I don't think they're going into the draft very confident about who it is that they're picking. Maybe in the first round, perhaps. After that, it just feels like it's going to be – you're not throwing darts at a wall blindfolded or anything, but they just don't have the information that they're used to or that they want.
Don't you think at this point, though – I mean, yes, I agree with you that, like, maybe they don't know for sure who they're going to get, like, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. But it's hard for me to believe that they should know who they want to get, or at least they have a pretty darn good idea of, like, what this player is all about. They may not know everything like they would in a normal draft year, but they're like, first and second round, toss those out the window, because you pretty much know who the top 60, 64 players are in the draft, I would argue. But I just
think it's difficult for them to have full appreciation for everything about the player that they want. Right. Not every player that goes in the draft was at the combine. Not every player that's available in the draft were they able to meet with face-to-face. Usually that can be the case. And it's going to be, and it's not just football that's dealing with this. The NBA is dealing with it too. Major League Baseball is dealing with this. And with the amount of rounds the draft usually goes, 40 of them. I mean, obviously Major League is going to lessen the number of rounds and bring in fewer players. In this day and age, where the more information that you have on an athlete, the better off you feel about who you are signing and who you are paying. I mean, this is an age of analytics, and really, it's not just statistical analytics about what happens on a field. It's psychology. Remember some of the ridiculous questions that these student athletes get asked at the combine. I don't have them on the top of my head. Some of them I can't even say on radio, but they're asking these ridiculous questions to see what kind of answer they get because they're doing some sort of a psychological test. I don't think they can do that kind of stuff right now. So I think there will be more swings and misses. There will be more draft busts. Although really, I mean, what is there such a thing as like a 5th round bust for a draft? I mean, a 7th round bust. It's really 1st or 2nd round that's more the bust than anything.
To piggyback off what you were talking about earlier, just the whole atmosphere changing. I mean, that atmosphere they created in Nashville was unreal.
In the rain.
I mean, still, and there was wasn't it like 1 million or 2 million people that eventually ended up coming in for that or something? That may be overkill with it, but it's still like the TV show. I enjoy the NFL draft. I'm not going to go crazy over it. The atmosphere that they created, though, when they would do the drone shot or the crane shot, and it was as far as the eye could see of just people cramming that Nashville Strip. And I've been there, and it's a heck of a long strip and a lot of things to do. My Lord, that thing was crowded. And now you go from that to this.
The word is spectacle,
Yeah, it's a spectacle.
That's what the NFL is all about. That's what WrestleMania is supposed to be about. And you saw. Did it feel like a spectacle
No.
with no fans.
No, of course not.
It had to. I mean, I know it was entertaining and everything, but it feels a little contrived. And it's made for TV. I mean, everything about the NFL is made for television. And, of course, it's about the people in attendance, too, and the feeling they get from watching this incredible spectacle of a draft. But, I mean, this is no longer made for TV. It's people sitting around individually in their houses.
It's a glorified fantasy football draft.
And then that's exactly what it is. It's a glorified fantasy football draft, which includes highlight videos put out by ESPN and the NFL Network. So it's, I mean, I don't really think it's going to be, look, it'll be interesting because you want to know who's going where and who your team drafts and what holes get plugged and everything. But it's not going to be the draft that you want or that you're used to. But at this point, what you want, you know, your desires for the things that you're watching are probably a little bit lesser than they were before. So I think you'll be happy with you would even just what feels like a glorified conference call, which is what this is. There's going to be a glorified conference call instead of the biggest spectacle in off-season history of the NFL. It's going to be, I mean, the total opposite. I mean, the other side of it. It's going to be the boring extreme. But, of course, what will we be doing during the NFL draft? Just discussing it as ad nauseum.
Oh, absolutely. We got a good message. You were talking about clothes, like what are people wearing? B from Clarksville text in. He said, I envision Phil has on a baseball uniform complete with cleats. I could see that happening here before too long. If your depression for not having baseball continues and if Major League Baseball doesn't come through, I'm sure you'll call Dave Van Horn and is like, look, I need a baseball I need something.
I've got a really old Travelers jersey downstairs
there
in
you
the
go.
closet. One that has birds on the bats from when they were a Cardinals affiliate.
Yeah.
I even have the pants as well. It doesn't really look good. It's baggy uniforms and stuff.
You're
Got
not
a bat
leaving the
somewhere.
house anyway. So.
Got a glove somewhere. I just don't have the cleats. So you're telling me, Matty T, you don't want me to drive to a sporting goods store and buy myself a pair of baseball cleats just so I can wear them on the show, a radio show?
Yeah, I think it'd be maybe a waste of money at this point.
You could almost just say you're wearing cleats and then we'll believe you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this baseball season, if we, once we're actually able to get to some sort of normalcy, since I won't be calling baseball games, I'm going to go find an adult league and I'm going to play in the darn thing. At first, I'm going to have to go hunt down Zach Orange, strike that out, since I, haven't been able to do it before now, because I was faking injury, or was I? I don't think anybody really knows.
Dun dun dun.
That's right. Halftime is brought to you by BetUS Horse Racing. Tell them about them. Smackdown.
If you're into sports book, horse racing, blackjack, casino games, they have got you covered with whatever horse racing tracks are still out there. You can bet on all of that. And for all you great listeners, you've got a $500 welcome bonus with your name on it. All you have to do is go to betusracing.com/morning rush to claim that $500 welcome bonus. No need to get out when you have access to this, all from your computer or your mobile device. So to claim that $500 welcome bonus, go to betusracing.com/morning rush.
Spring is here, and it's time to get outdoors. Just arrived at Jelco Outdoors. New spring footwear by Solomon, sandals by Aerosol, Keen, Sanuk, and the largest selection of work and safety footwear for men and women in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, serving the River Valley with quality footwear since 1983. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and you're watching the Rutledge Report. The governor declared a state of emergency. Price gouging laws are now in effect. Businesses and individuals cannot charge 10% more than they did before. Bad actors will face criminal charges and a fine of up to $10,000 per item. Report price gouging to my office. At the Attorney General's office, we will do the fighting for you. Call us at 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Yo, 2. He struck him out swinging. There's number 11 for Connor Nolan, a new career high. All right, wrap up the show today. Since it's a Tuesday, we got some things to push off the lawn.
I'd appreciate if he would address me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
Do not you what? Off my presence with authority.
Oh, man.
You're not going to amount to jack squat.
Get off my lawn.
We've talked a bit of the last week or so about ESPN trying to get Drew Brees to Monday Night Football. Everybody's trying to get Drew Brees to their NFL telecast at some point. But that belies the fact that Drew Brees still has a 2-year contract to play quarterback for the New Orleans Saints that he just signed this month. Last month he signed that contract. So even if he only plays 1 year, well, anyway, what is ESPN going to do over this next possible NFL season? I mean, they still have Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland on Monday Night Football, but It seems that the writing is on the wall, is it not? So the thought is that ESPN reportedly wants to move Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit to Monday Night Football. And let me just say, please. It didn't work the first time you moved a college football guy to the professional football broadcast. Joe Tessitore is miscast at the NFL. He is great with college football. Don't ask me what I think the difference is. I just don't think he fits to the NFL. There are differences in the way that these games are broadcast and in the hype that is generated by them and the fan bases that they are talking to. And look, I think it works a little bit with what Turner Sports does with the NCAA tournament, but it does feel awkward sometimes with NBA analysts analyzing the college game. It always feels to me that they're coming from the professional perspective, It's not that they don't know what they're talking about. It's that there is a difference between the majors and college sports in the way that it is broadcast. And I think Fowler and Herbstreit are really good for the top ESPN college football broadcast, but I think ESPN would be making a humongous mistake by moving them to Monday Night Football conceivably just for 1 year. They've got to have more available broadcasters in their stable to throw into a booth and say, here, this is a 1-year Band-Aid before we get Breeze and somebody else. I mean, they want to get Al Michaels to ESPN. I know that. Good luck. NBC's not letting go. It doesn't make sense to me at all. So for me, ESPN, get Fowler and Herbstreit onto Monday Night Football. It doesn't make sense. You're going to kill your college football broadcaster, at least the product that I think you're talking about. You're going to end up killing two products at once. ESPN.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
I'm going to go off of what a listener messaged in yesterday. I won't say the name. He said, no event that is predetermined can be called a sport. So I'm going to argue that there is no way you're going to tell me that WWE superstars, which this may be a different argument, but we're going to go with it just because I can. WWE is a sport. I'll go down swinging with that because, yes, it's predetermined. Yes, it's scripted, all that good stuff. But you cannot sit there and tell me that those WWE superstars are not athletes and put their body on the line for whatever it may be. Wrestling's a sport. If you just go like true grit, collegiate, professional wrestling, yes, this is different, but prove me wrong that WWE is not a sport because those guys just get worse injuries, if not worse injuries, than anybody else. It's just as much of a sport as badminton or anything else. So,
okay, so let me give you what I see as the definition of the word sport, according to this online dictionary.
Okay.
An activity involving physical exertion and skill. I think that early part of the sentence definitely describes every professional wrestler.
Yeah.
In which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. There is competition involved in this as well. It is for entertainment purposes. I guess the question is for some folks, is it the matter of the predetermination of the winner? Here's the other thing, too. You're going to find a lot of other sports fans that think that some NFL games and some college football games are predetermined anyway.
That was going to be my argument. Yeah, because you see everybody all the time, particularly some Razorback fans that say, "Oh, the refs are against us. They just want Kentucky to win."
I like to argue with people sometimes. Yeah. So, and I like to argue with those who I'm very close to. So my first girlfriend, I really pissed her off because she was a huge NASCAR fan, right? And so I. People say the same thing about racing, right? And I didn't say they weren't athletes. You get in a car and race 500 miles at 160 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You're going to find pretty quickly you can't do it. But I drew a line. I said there's a difference for me, and I was just being me. I was just being contrary. I was being obstinate, which is a word that I've come to really embrace. It's stubbornness for stubbornness' sake. I said, look, racing's not a sport. A sport involves two teams or two people exchanging something back and forth, whether it's a puck or a ball or a birdie. That's what a sport is. It's two individuals or two teams exchanging a ball back and forth. What you like is a competition. But, a competition is, will I be the last person standing in a boxing match? Who gets to the finish line first?
True.
Who can pin whom else? And that pissed her off because she felt like I was coming at racing, which I guess I was because I just wanted to, poke her a little bit. But look, the fact of the matter is, I think they're athletes. I think car racers are athletes. I think wrestlers are athletes because let's be honest here. I mean, these are like 300-pound men or women. I don't know what they're weighing, but they're obviously larger than most women, and they are operating in a very dangerous way, whether it's predetermined or not, whether it's scripted or not. They've got to perform these feats in a way that actually doesn't injure the person that they're, quote-unquote, fighting against, doing it in an entertaining and amazing way, and you can't do that if you're not an athlete. It's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. I 100%. Go back on what you said just a second ago. Got another message in here. Herb Street and Fowler to Monday Night Football is like SmackDown calling a Razorback game next to Bubba and Phil breaking down wrestling.
Exactly. We have no idea what we're talking about. Mike in Fort Smith says, what about athletes playing checkers? Does that make it a sport? No. Sports are not necessarily played by athletes. I don't think checkers is a sport. I don't think chess is a sport. I think they're board games. They're strategy games. Does that make Risk a sport? Risk is a strategy game.
Ooh.
It's just chess has been around a lot longer. What about backgammon? What about Parcheesi?
What about competitive
sports?
Fortnite? Is that a sport?
What about competitive Fortnite? There
you
go.
That'd be another. That's another argument.
The Impractical Jokers compete with each other, but they're not playing a sport, are they?
They're called virtual athletes, right? In which they have the strongest thumbs.
Esports.
They've got the strongest thumbs and forefingers in the country.
What were you saying?
Athletes.
Athletes. Okay.
It's a stretch.
I mean, there was a television show in the 80s out of Canada that was on Nickelodeon called You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah,
Remember that show, Matty T?
when you say water would spill on you. If you said I don't know, you get slimed.
Right. So they actually predicted the future because remember Blips Arcade in that show, and the kids on the show they had Pac-Man lessons in order to get their fingers stronger to play Pac-Man at a certain level. That's what these esports athletes have to do too. They've got to do very
finger
specific,
crunches.
If you pick your nose in a certain way, you got to make sure you use every finger inside the nose, and make sure you get the pinky finger. Because how many buttons are on these joysticks now? I mean, you need your pinky fingers to be able to work properly too. So yeah, it's all about what do you define as a sport compared to what is an athlete. And I do think it's two different conversations.
Yeah,
competitive eating. Is that a sport?
Competitive eating. Is that a sport, or is that
Joey
just,
Joey
eating?
Chestnut an athlete?
He's a true athlete.
Well, George Carlin did a whole routine about what's a sport and what's not a sport. And he said something that a normal person can do is not a sport. So running is not a sport because anybody can run. Swimming isn't a sport because swimming is a way to keep from drowning. I mean, we could play this whole routine at some point, all right? There's not a lot of curse words in it. Maybe we'll beep a couple of them out here and there. I got another one for you because on this day, 1969, the first ever pitching save was recorded in Major League Baseball history by Dodgers reliever Bill Singer. The save was invented to give a little more value to relief pitchers. And it's mostly a useless statistic. So I think this is a stat that could also get off my lawn. And since the first major league save ever was recorded today, 1969, I will tell the save to get out of my bullpen.
Hey, there you go. I've always enjoyed how much emphasis gets put on by the broadcast. And that's his 9th save of the year.
Yeah, it's an arbitrary statistic. I mean, you can get a save by pitching the 9th inning with a 3-run lead. That's a whole lot different than pitching the 9th inning with a 1-run lead. And to me, it's just I don't know. It's a stat that doesn't mean what it is supposed to mean. And I think that's actually been proven. And look, I do think that pitching the 9th inning in a tight game is a lot different than pitching the 6th inning in a tight game. So the pressure does get to you in certain ways. It's just, I think you gotta narrow the focus of what a save means, because I just don't think it means what people think it means. So I can get off of my lawn, and you guys can get off of my studio as well for all this 2-hour program today. It's a lot of fun.
You know how many times you yawned the rest of the show?
Never.
You didn't. You passed
0.
You passed it off to me that first hour.
So I'll get in my 20 yawns at about 11:55 tomorrow morning when we join you again, right?
Right.
Should be a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. For Matty T and for SmackDown, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get off my lawn.